Hello students, today you're going to take notes on organic compounds. Go ahead and set up your notebook, pause the video if it's going too fast, or rewind it if you missed a key idea or vocabulary term. Okay, I'm starting, so pause now if you need a few seconds. Number 1. Although there are hundreds and hundreds of elements, well not hundreds and hundreds, but over 100 elements, only 6 of them are combined to make most living organisms. The most common element in living things is actually oxygen. So here's some food that you might eat that's full of oxygen, and that oxygen is usually bonded in the molecule water. But of course, anything from fruit like grapes, pomegranates, all that is rich in oxygen. All right, go ahead and come up with a question for 1. All right, moving on to number 2. An organic compound. An organic compound is a compound that contains carbon bonded to itself or other atoms. So carbon is a key element in living creatures. We have never found a living creature that doesn't have carbon bonded in some way or form or fashion. So let's look at some pictures or a picture. So here's a key of why carbon is so important in living things. So carbon has 4 valence electrons. That means that it has room for 4 more electrons, so it can bond to create all kinds of shapes, all kinds of proteins and acids that are useful in living creatures. Because it has empty spots, it can connect to other elements to make all kinds of, like I said, proteins and amino acids. And if you're like, well, where do we get carbon from? We actually get carbon most of the time by, of course, our food that we eat, which is like breads and pastas. All these are carbohydrates, and then you could see the prefix carbo because it has carbon in it. So that's where we get most of carbon from. Okay, go ahead and finish copying 2 if you haven't, and then think of your question. Okay, almost done. Moving on to 3. Oops. Carbon has 4 valence electrons, as I already said, so it can bond to make complex molecules such as glucose, sugar, and the amino acids that I mentioned. Let's look at a picture of glucose. So our main source of glucose is from the sugar that we eat. So food that like corn is very rich in sugar, which is another way of saying glucose. And there's different kinds of sugar. There's fructose, there's glucose. But the key idea is that when you look at the molecule of glucose or fructose, you see that the C's are carbon, and the carbon is bonded because it has that 4 valences. There's room for water and other things to bond to it to make it a more complex molecule that's full of energy. And when this molecule is broken apart, it's an exothermic reaction. And this is why we have heat. This is what powers our bodies, are the breaking down of molecules such as glucose. Okay, go ahead and finish up writing number 4. Breaking down glucose from food can... Oh, let me see. Sorry, that's a typo. It says breaking down from glucose from food should or is an exothermic reaction. Just ignore the can. Okay, that's it for this video. Go ahead and start your summary and advanced question, and have a great day.